fight fans? So Canelo Alvarez will be fighting Edgar Berlanga. I don't have words to express how disappointed I am in Canelo opponent choices. The fact that even Edgar Berlanga and Chris Eubank Jr. were on the short list for who he will be selecting to fight in September, and that any one of them, even Edgar Berlanga, was the one to get the nod when Benavidez has literally been sitting there waiting to fight Canelo for a long time, doing everything in his power, becoming the WBC mandatory, doing everything that he can, beating Caleb Plant, a similar opponent, beating Boo Boo Andrade, an opponent that has been connected to Canelo Alvarez, to eliminate him so that Canelo Alvarez, as he said himself years ago, or 2 years ago, that let them fight each other, and whoever is the one that floats to the top, I'll fight him. Benavidez has floated to the top the right way. He went through he did it by going through the mud. He beat Caleb Plant. He beat Boo Boo Andrade. So there's no one else. There's no one else. But somehow, some way, Canelo found someone else. And not a someone else that we want to see, a someone else that he's just willing to fight. And no shot at, Berlanga, right? His rise to fame really was his 16, I think, first round knockouts. Or he started his entire career just knocking people out in the first round for 16 fights straight. But then on that 17th fight, 18th fight, 19th fight, 20th fight, he went to decision. So it was very short-lived, and it didn't continue. It wasn't consistent with his ability to continue to knock people out even after the first round, right? But he did get the knockout in his last fight. But he's never fought for a world title, right? He's never fought super tough competition. He's struggled with the non-super tough competition that he has fought. I think they're banking on the Puerto Rico versus Mexico thing, which to me, this is more of a let's get the casuals to buy pay-per-view strategy, because they understand that casuals don't follow boxing. And to them, they love the Puerto Rico versus Mexico narrative. So if we just do a Puerto Rico versus Mexico fight, and we show the Puerto Rican flag and we show the Mexican flag, and a casual who doesn't know anybody other than Canelo Alvarez and maybe Tank Davis, or just Canelo and Floyd Mayweather, and those are the only two people they know, and Manny Pacquiao, of course, they'll look at that and say, oh, he's Puerto Rican. Oh, this is a Puerto Rican Mexican clash. How many losses does he have? Oh, he's undefeated. Oh, this is going to be a good one. It's designed to be a thirst trap, a thirst trap for casual boxing fans, for super mega ultimate casual boxing fans, as opposed to having a powerful Mexican versus Mexican showdown with Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez, which not only will it be a thirst trap for fans who want to see a Mexican showdown, because that's always been popular as well, right? Look at Marco Antonio Barrera versus Eric Morales, Juan Manuel Marquez versus those guys. So it's always been popular to have a Mexican clash, right? Just as popular as having a Puerto Rican versus Mexican clash. So it's not even to say, well, he wouldn't sell. He would sell, right? Like he'll also be undefeated. They'll also look at his record and say he's undefeated. But you know what else you'll get? You'll get the actual boxing fans who also care about it. Because in reality, that's truly how you get it over the hump, right? Because there's bleed-in with ESPN, there's bleed-in with people that are talking, and that bleeds into the consciousness of even the casual boxing fans. The casual boxing fans are going to have to go in this kind of blind and like kind of just, going with their gut on this one, right? As opposed to if it would have been with Benavidez, they would have been seeing that and accepted that for what it was, but then also see all these other things coming in saying, hey, look, this is the guy he's supposed to be fighting. This is finally happening. And they're going to be like, oh man, look at all the things that they're saying about it through the normal channels where you can get a casual to pay attention, right? Through the ESPNs and all these different places. So it would have sold way more than a Berlanga, way more. As a matter of fact, I don't think that Canelo can hit over 1 million pay-per-view buys anymore. Unless he fights Berlanga. Berlanga, no, that's who he's fighting. Unless he fights Benavidez. I think that he is running the risk of truly allowing Tank Davis to be the face of boxing. Because if Tank Davis does a $350,000 pay-per-view with Frank Martin, and then let's say he does fight Shakur Stevenson and that fight goes through, then he is going to be very close to getting to that 1 million mark, in my opinion. If in fact that's the case, then he might actually beat Canelo 2 years in a row in terms of overall pay-per-view revenue, in terms of overall pay-per-view buys. The pendulum is swinging towards Tank's direction in terms of pay-per-view buys, right? He did the 1.2 million. He is the last over 1 million pay-per-view in America, right? He's the last over 1 million. Canelo hasn't hit 1 million in a long time, since the Gennady Golovkin fight. He hasn't hit 1 million. So this is pretty this is difficult for him. Think about it. The Gennady Golovkin fight, which was the fight that people wanted to see, that's where he hit the million. Why? Because the bleeding, and he was from Kazakhstan, right? So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, he's not Mexican. He's not Puerto Rican. He's not the guy that would sell the fights or whatever. But you still hit 1 million with him, because the actual boxing fans, that psyche bleeds into the casual boxing fans, and then they go, oh, this is something difficult. Everybody's saying it everywhere I look. It's difficult. I'm seeing it on the Breakfast Club. I'm seeing it on ESPN. I'm seeing it on my Twitter feed. I'm seeing it on social media. It bleeds into the casual, so that the casuals don't go in blind, just not really hearing anything about it, but just knowing it's a Mexican clash or whatever it is, and actually desire to buy it, plus the boxing fans that desire to buy it as well. Because boxing fans, they won't buy pay-per-views. They're more savvy than a casual fan. So yes, you definitely want the casual fans, but you want that bleed in, the psyche, the zeitgeist bleed in from the boxing fans, so that it can bleed into the casual fan. If you don't do that, they're not gonna. You're gonna get the baseline numbers, right? You're just gonna get like, he's probably gonna do, I don't know, another 500,000 pay-per-view, which isn't bad in comparison to everybody else, but you're half of what you used to do. You used to hit millions. Now you're doing half of what you used to do. So in my opinion, I feel like he should definitely do, like, and poor Benavidez, right? Now Benavidez is he no longer cares about the Canelo fight, and now everybody's saying that Benavidez is ducking. How can you say that this man is ducking? What do you want him to do? If Canelo picks Berlanga after he picked Jaime Munguia, it's a clear sign that what's Benavidez? Is he supposed to just stay? Is he supposed to just stay there in that division and just never fight anyone ever, or never advance his career, or never do anything? Like, just stay there and wait forever? Is he supposed to just wait forever? And if he doesn't wait forever, and then Canelo retires 3 years later and never fought him, never having fought him, then he's supposed to now go on and do other things? Do you expect this guy to sit there waiting for Canelo, who is clearly choosing everybody but him? I don't blame him. And yeah, he's not fighting popular fighters, right? But he has his eyes set on the winner between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. You can't knock that. That is super crazy. He's conceded that the Canelo fight will never happen. Canelo picking Berlanga is the signal shot to Benavidez that he will never pick him. He has to move on. Shame on anybody who's saying that Benavidez is ducking Canelo, because he has no choice. He did everything possible. He called them out after every single fight. He fought all the people he needed to fight to get them out of the way so that Canelo could fight him, and yet Canelo picks Berlanga. What do you expect from him? What do you want him to do? Just sit there waiting for Canelo, who clearly doesn't want to fight him. He has no choice. He's moving up. It's super difficult. It's going to be hard. His last performance wasn't amazing, right? But he's decided that there's no point. Canelo cares little to no, has little to no care if he fights Benavidez ever, and is actively trying to make sure that he doesn't fight Benavidez. So, I mean, Canelo's resume, he has a great resume, right? He has a really good resume. He has a Gennady Golovkin in there. He has Danny Jacobs in there, right? You know, he has a Miguel Cotto in there. So he has an amazing resume, but not fighting Benavidez will come back to haunt him for the rest of his life if he doesn't. Trust me, that's going to be the thing that people will always point at after he's retired. So hopefully one day he does a cash out fight where it's over. This is his last one or whatever. And he fights Benavidez for the maximum amount of money that he could make. I think that he is making a mistake with Berlanga, and that Tank Davis will start to overtake him as the face of boxing, as that process has already started since last year. So anyways, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and hope, for the best. Hopefully it's a good fight, but I'm going to watch it because I'm a boxing fan, but I know a lot of people that's just not going to watch it because it's not Benavidez. And not only is it not Benavidez, it's not even like a worthy opponent. No shot to Berlanga, but it just isn't right now. Berlanga still needs to, Berlanga hasn't done like 1/4 of the amount of things that Benavidez has done to prove that he is the person that should be fighting Canelo. He's the WBC, mandatory, right? But there's nothing. He beat Boo Boo Andre undefeated. He beat Caleb Plant, who had only lost to Canelo. And Berlanga, who's fought none of those guys, who's never won a world title. He's the guy he's the guy that Canelo's fighting. Very, very disappointed in that. But again, nothing we could do about it. I'm no longer paying attention to if Canelo's going to fight Benavidez. I'm no longer holding out hope that Canelo will fight Benavidez. I am simply moving forward and looking at other fighters with more interest than I am looking at a Canelo potential bout, only because he's simply not caring about giving us the fights. So, I'm more interested in Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol. I'm more interested in that. I'm more interested in Usyk rematch with Tyson Fury. That's more interesting to me. I'm more interested in Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis. I'm more interested in Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez. I'm more interested in these other fights because they have 100 to 1,000,000 times more possibility to happen than Canelo and Benavidez. Anyways, until the next one, guys, peace out.